Hello crafty friends, Shana from ShanoukiArt. By popular request, I'm going to start working in my recently made magazine art journal. I'm not sure yet how the pages are going to work. I've never worked on magazine paper like this before, so let's learn together. First of all, there's only one staple holding all of this together, so it's become a little bit wonky. I'm going to reinforce it with a piece of masking tape. Unfortunately, my stapler is too short to be able to make additional staples in the middle of the book. I need to somehow get hold of a long-armed stapler. For now, we'll work with the masking tape. This would be my son giving a thumbs up. He came into the craft room to tell me that he was hungry, although we had just finished dinner. I have a tutorial on how to make this magazine journal. I'll put a link in the description box below if you'd like to make one too. I don't mind using the masking tape as I use it quite regularly in my art journal pages. I love the texture that it leaves and will add to the background. I love the spotty paper on the inside cover. I'm going to incorporate that into my spread, adding a few more pieces of masking tape for additional texture. At this point, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this page yet. All I know is that I want to use orange and pink and the spots on the left. I'm going to start by covering the magazine paper with white gesso. This will allow me to add medium to it without it seeping through and making everything soggy. This will prime the magazine page. It'll also cover up all the background text or images that I don't want. I'm also spreading some of the gesso on the left over some of the spots to lighten those and to make them uneven so they're not all bold. Once I dry the first layer of gesso, I'm going to apply a second layer, especially over the darker sections. I'm thinking that I'm going to stick two lots of pages together to reinforce the page. First, I'm going to put some masking tape here too, just to strengthen the spine area. I'm then going to apply Mod Podge to glue the two pages together. I'm not quite sure if this will work, but we'll give it a go. This will work differently and you'll get different results depending on the quality of the magazine paper. So you'll need to experiment with yours and see what's best. So I've stuck my two pages together. There is a slight overhang from the bottom page to the top where you can see on the right hand side, and that's okay. I'm just going to cover that with gesso. I could have also trimmed this part off, but I decided to keep it and just to paint over it. I want to add some collage in the background. I don't want just this blank white page. I'm going to start with a piece of my Scribble tissue paper. This is available from ArtStacks. I will put a link in the description box below. I'm attaching this to the page with Mod Podge. I was going to do it long ways and then changed my mind and turned it the other way. I'm also going to add some Mod Podge on top of the tissue paper. This is to waterproof it and protect it so I can add other wet medium on top. Instead of trimming the excess off, I'm just folding it and sticking it over onto the next page. It could perhaps be part of the background when I do that page. To create some balance across my pages, I'm going to add some of the Scribble tissue paper on the bottom left hand too. I'm then also going to add some gesso over it to lighten it and push it into the background. My starting point is going to be an image from my collage suit book. I found this beautiful butterfly that's an orange with a pink flower. I love the contrasting colors, so I'm going to stick that down and see how we're going to extend this. I will put a link to Collage Soup in the description box below. Adding a bit more gesso behind where I'm going to place the image just to help it stand out a little bit more. And then I'm going to paste down my butterfly flower image. Going in with a bit more gesso, I'm going around the butterfly and the flower and trying to lighten that background. I want to blend in the sharp edges of the cutout. Now some of the butterfly and the flower are missing, so I'm going to extend those out. I'm not quite sure how they're meant to look, but I'm just going to use my imagination. I'm using a black watercolor pencil. I'm dipping the point in some water to get the lines a little bit watery and uneven. Using a small amount of pink acrylic paint, I'm going to fill in the petals. I'm not using obviously the exact same pink. I'm just using the acrylic pink paint that I have and using it straight out of the bottle. And then I'm going in with a small paintbrush and filling in the petals. I'm also extending the pink color onto the actual cutout to try and blend it in as much as possible. I'm then going to do the same for the butterfly. I found another pink flower in the Collage Soup book that I want to use. I'm going to fussy cut it and then see where I'm going to place it. I think it looks good on the top right hand corner, so I'm going to stick it down. Going to add some black detail around the petals for this one too, again with a black watercolor pencil. I want to add some balance by adding some color in the bottom right hand corner. I'm going to add a few strips, and these are just from the scraps from the fussy cut flowers. As I was gluing these down, I thought I need a pop of color. I have some orange vellum just lying around, so I took a piece and I added it in between these scrap strips. Now, just a note about vellum, I find if you're using any kind of glue, it does tend to make the vellum curl up. I find the best way to stick vellum down is with double-sided tape. Once I've finished gluing down my little scrap stack, I'm going to add some more gesso again to soften the edges and to help blend them into the background. I'm going to work a bit more with my watercolor pencil and create some contrast behind the flower. I just press a little bit of the pencil with the wet point, and then I use my finger just to spread out the color. It creates a beautiful sooty kind of feel. Going to extend that hand-drawn watercolored pencil feel on the left by going around some of the circles and then creating additional circles on the right to break up that white. And the magic of mixed media is you can cover up anything you don't want. I don't like that top half circle that I put on, so I've just covered it up with gesso. I'm extending the white section on the bottom left, just adding some more gesso with my finger. I have this collage paper that I made during Art Journal August. I really love these circles. I'm going to cut out two and place them over the left-hand side. I like that they change up the spots and they don't have just all black spots on the left. We have a few that are hand-drawn and hollow. I think it creates a good balance. And I'm going to add some color to these spots. I'm going to make one pink and one orange. I'm using the same acrylic paint as before. To help create connection between my pages, I'm going to add some more orange and pink in the form of splatter. I have watered down the acrylic paints quite a bit, and then I'm using my fan paintbrush and I'm splattering over the majority of the top section of the page with the orange paint. For the pink, I'm concentrating mainly on the bottom left, over the pink circle. And at this point, instead of just tapping the brush so that the paint splatters on, I'm also sort of doing a downward motion with the paintbrush, which creates extra lines and paint drips. I then went through the magazine and I found a few words to make up a cute sentence for my first page of this art journal. It says, "Welcome to my beautiful creative journey." I'm sticking this down with a glue stick. I'm then going to take a black fine liner pen and go around each of the cutout words to frame them and make them stand out. I really hope you enjoyed this video of me creating my very first page in my magazine art journal. I hope you were inspired to create one too. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.